passion. But I'm just curious how the roles potentially chop and change now that Brolin is into the team. Are they going to give him a lot of space to activate this kid? He's a very, very good player. It just is going to be curious to see how they want to use him and if we're still going to be able to retain the level from Rez that they started to find. And Plopsky has also been starting to look better and better. There's a lot of good players in this NiP team. And I'm sure a lot of you at home are asking, where's Device? Well, I don't think you need to ask that question anymore. This is the team they've got right here at the RMRs. This is the team they're hoping to qualify for the major with. And this is the Swedish side kicking off their campaign throughout Group B. Max has already lobbed out a smoke. You can see this one's going to land towards the top red house window, and mid control will be, well, garnered quite easily. But Tag just pot shots through. Nertz is dead immediately.
Yeah, good start for Tag. Nertz out of the round, and they continue to try and barrel their way through Cave and apply some pressure onto the wedding eyes of Brolin. He has got his teammate over here, and damage is being done onto Plopsky. It's quick here for Endpoint, but Brolin hasn't gone unchecked. He's still standing in the same position. They're not turning around, but the shots, they're missing every single opportunity. Now they clock in where he's playing from, and Mighty Max has got a triple. Oh, Brolin, that's a nightmare, but still, his team still stand alive. Rez looking to resurrect the round. Looks down towards the bottom of the rampway. Mighty Max finally put in the ground after his hard work. He's hoping now that he can just sit back and watch the screens of his plays to close this one out. The hard work certainly done, and Endpoint have the pistol round.
I bet Surreal's happy he finally got a kill out of that. His first bullet accuracy on the Glock in all of those fights was fantastic. He just got goosh after goosh, and then Mighty Max comes out with a big mop in the bucket, clean up on aisle B, and that from Brolin right there for his debut round in the team in an official. That one there, let's just say it wasn't pretty. But the USP in the back, I'll let him off the hook here. The USP in the back is one of the hardest shots to hit.
It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
But you feel he should have gotten at least one in
Definitely
that situation.
He had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, maybe a couple of speed wobbles with so many players to choose from right there. But a great start for Endpoint. And the pistol round on a map like Ancient means a whole lot more, right? You think about this map, T-side rounds are hard to come by at the best of times. To pick up the pistol round, and now if they can follow through with the conversions, that'll be pretty tidy stuff. But they're walking into the trap right now with this A stack. Just a contact play. Rez behind the tall box. Hampus over towards Temple with the scout. That'll tag. Rez will not activate just yet. And they have two players lingering over in Donut. So the scout is enough to dissuade them right now. Surreal will take that pot shot. Get dropped on down to the 29-pointer health mark. Max with a nice little smoke line up. He'll be doing all the work here, will Max.
It's the only one that's bothered to lone smoke, so the net droppings helped them out a little bit there. Hampus up in the red room. Oh, okay. That is ridiculous from Hampus.
Poor Nertz. He's taken so much damage crossing mid behind smokes. Right, last round he died. This round he's been tagged on down to 12. And they're actually not going to head over towards B. I think they're a bit worried about Cave and the close choke points, but as they push forward, this is where Hampus lies and that donut trap.
Hampus is just waiting for them. Crucial eventually will walk in towards Hampus, who is at the ready to take him out. Shot will land again.
3 tags for Hampus.
They're also softened up, and this gives the Pistols a great chance of taking them out.
They're trying to split A. This is not going to go well for Endpoint at all.
The forces that NiP have had deployed. Oh, this
Max is doing another smoke. You almost kind of want to tell him to save right now.
This is rough. This is very rough right now for Endpoint. 19 seconds left. If they could only see what's on the other side of things. They're walking into a stack. They're walking into a messy round. 10 seconds. That's a tie. And Brolin taking the picks. And Red still from the toolbox. Finally gets, well, could have got involved. But Brolin just sends Mighty Max flying after the time. No, Boros, he goes down. $350 in the bank. And Crucial, he'll at least get something over. But a round that is just heartbreaking to watch unfold.
And the doctor there with the scout just using it like a scalpel. Fantastic work for Hampus, just pipping them all across the map. When you're that low on HP, right, we talk about it on a lot of maps with the scout if it can find some tags. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hampus there just lighting them up, and that's going to put Endpoint in a very prickly situation now. The Galil retained, some pistols upgraded, sure, but very light on in a lot of the departments here. Hampus is going to be a nuisance to deal with in mid as that deep mid smoke will land. And they just have to stall this one out. They don't want anything to do with the B bomb site. It's curious to see what Brolin's playing. They have him positioned in cave right now. Something we will need to keep tabs on throughout. But this is perfect now. Look at this. Galil's, AKs, M4s are very potent looking by. As the door re-smoke comes on through, they keep that B lane control. And Endpoint are just kind of walking around the map hoping something comes their way. Another deep mid-smoke lands. Hampus will retain this control. So they have full map control. There's still obviously Over a minute left on the clock, but B lane not a problem, mid not a problem. The biggest question mark is A main, and that's where Rez is currently posted up from Temple. It's just waiting out this U-tilt. Endpoint are now going to start to jostle forward and fight for position.
Nertz slips his way out elbow. Would love to not take initial damage in middle. And it looks like this time he will be granted permission to walk further than the elbow itself. And they go up, Surreal. Brolin gonna feel like that should never have happened. Crucial takes out his own teammate in the midst of the chaos, but makes up for it with a swing in towards Jaguar. We have got Plopsky now taking up position at Cubby. Red's coming over to help him out. 2 players here for NiP to try and stifle the attack forward. And Plopsky swings out. It's just a single kill for him. Boris is now alone though. The single player up for Endpoint. Gets back to the pillar, tries to plant in Hampus. The spam through the wood from Cave will take out Boros' chances, and a second round for NiP.
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but Hampus must be one of the most annoying players to play against.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
Just with the type of kills, the way that he positions himself. He's such a nuisance across the map, and one of the highest fragging in-game leaders I think that we have at the moment in terms of that consistency of output. Love watching Hampus play. Love seeing how he applies himself and his team. And he's obviously had to do a lot of chopping, changing, adjusting. This team has been having a different academy player in the ranks, it feels like, every second week. Now they've finally got a roster that they're content with. It's going to be interesting to see how far that they can push the issue here. But this is stalled Endpoint now. A great pistol conversion. I spoke about how important it was to win that pistol. Well, to get that conversion is feeling even more important now as Endpoint are just finding themselves on these Glocks. Some nice shots from Surreal, though, right? I talked about that first bullet accuracy for him on the pistol round. Like, he did so much damage to 3 players on the pistol round that Mighty Max just had to come on through and blow them on over.
I believe they call him the K-Man. See if he's able to keep that level up. But in this round, the Glock should blow on over. It is wild to me to see Endpoint in this position. I mean, this is a team that I've watched for years, just play at the UK level and play at amateur league tournaments. And now they've dug deep. There's been so many different faces. The fact they've been poached time and time again, and their players have just been taken away, and we've had so many different looks of Endpoint. I mean, look at the players that come from there. We have Flames, who is now playing for OG. We have Mezzy, who played for Fnatic, Cloud9, etc. So yeah, we've had a lot of chopping and changing at the guard here at Endpoint.
Imagine if Endpoint qualified for the major and OG with Flames doesn't. Like, how would that make any sense in any world?
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
I think the problem is we kind of can now.
Yeah, you can imagine.
With how crazy this group might be after the early upsets today.
That would be wild.
Anything's possible, right? That shows just this level.
Endpoint have one of the best logos. Look at that. That's such a cool design. It's got End in it. It's pretty cool. It's one of the best rebrands in esports. Crucial, taking a lot of damage. He's down to 14. It's going to be a walk here for NiP towards 8. Or rather Endpoint, who now make their way in towards Reds.
They've really tried these contact plays towards A. I like what we saw with Quasar doing it the other day against Na'Vi, right? Because to clear out A main, to make sure there's no aggressive moves there, and also to just at least apply a little bit of pressure, because so many teams just fight B. Well, trying to find their gap through the smoke here. Spam through. Rez finds Surreal. He's out of the picture. Doesn't get a chance to even respond. So well handled by Rez here, and that's going to send them packing. This A crawl immediately stole on out. Look how many components they have over towards B. But the mid util is being dropped right now. Esatag has that AWP, so the first sign seeing him on the big green. Hampus can contribute from ledge, help this out. This nade is going to be perfectly placed.
Yep, goes on in, dunks down on Crucial, and another kill for NiP. The bomb loose because Hampus is just pushed at the perfect time. And that's the annoying little play from Hampus yet again. It's closed down, it's NiP with 4. And my worries do start to come through about Ancient. NiP looked clean at the start.
That's the thing, right? If you can't get control or put pressure on towards B lane, and then you're just hoping to take mid as that single prong, if the CTs are set up in such powerful positions like that, you can see the potency of the crossfire. Having their elevation, having different angles that you can fight that from, being able to play off of each other, you'll be able to contribute for the B doors fight as well as the mid fight. You can respond to A quite quickly. So if the CTs just keep getting away with that type of play, right, at this point the map becomes very easy for them. Even if you are waiting out a lot of the utility, right, of the CTs, you're making sure we wait out the door smokes, the Molotovs. They still have very good ways to play off of each other, right, off of contact. So going to need to find themselves a little bit more, I want to say an even game plan from Endpoint, right? But you don't want to see them just running into B because they're going to have to run into all the utility. You don't want to see them necessarily just running out mid because you're seeing that utility being expended towards mid as well from NiP. But they are taking a timeout. Alan, the coach, having an opportunity to chime on in.
Hashtag Nightshit. Represent.
doors smoke as well. So if this is a component throughout, this is one of the reasons you don't want to necessarily just run on through. Do you respect it? Do you run through to your death? And, oh, speaking of death, Surreal's down again. Can't seem to find a way in here, just poor Surreal.
And there goes deep. Brolin starts to spam on down through the wood itself, and NiP4 gonna have to try and deal with it, force on through, and they'll not have any issues with that. Another flawless round for NiP.
Okay, well, one of the favorites getting off to a very good start here. That's what you want to see. None of this upset, silly business right now, but if Endpoint can get themselves up to, let's set the bar at 4 or 5 rounds in this T-half, win the pistol on the CT side, get some conversions going through, they can make a competitive affair of this in the best of ones. Crucial is going to get out that AWP, so now we might see a bit more of a regular default come across the map. If they've identified they need to put some pressure on this B lane, let's have a look. It is just one man. It is going to be Burrows over towards the babysitter B. The other 4 quite quickly over towards mid and A. Rez is aggressive this time.
Rez very aggressive. Let's see if he makes it work. The 8K gets in the midst of the fight. You have to be aware that this could be a possibility, and you can see Crucial holding for it. Ooh, Rez. He's going to hold it, come around the corner. Oh, they line up, but no kill, and Rez could get wrapped, but he's got one. The wraparound was coming through, but Surreal was able to beat him out in the fight. So Hampus has come back through the temple and sends Nerds off to pray. Good advantage here for NiP once again.
And no space. The rotation's already come back over. They've immediately responded to this. The utility coming out from Mighty Max again right now to smoke off Donut and top here. There's a fight. There's a chance. Max taking a duel with... Oh,
that's a tie. Gets away with it. AWP recovers even while being sprayed down. Essitai just stays composed. I think the problem is here for Endpoint. They're not subscribing to the Hampus Just Go B, so we're going to see Boris try and make that space.
Even if he gets in here, right, this rotation from Surreal on low HP is still around the world. It's going to allow a little bit more time for NiP to rejig the defense. They are starting to cotton on to this with Plopsky making his way down towards the Speedway position. Boros, if he goes for an aggressive fight, is going to be noted. Plopsky's shot through, and Boros, he's going to profit. B is open, and the bomb should go down. Be a nice round to win here for Endpoint. A 2-on-4 situation.
From this position as well, it looks so awful for them early on, but they're coming all in from the same side here. NiP and Brolin has won the battle versus Boros. It is now Surreal alone with an AWP, and he realizes if he plays further back, they can just smoke the bomb and put him in a position where he can't compete for the round. So he tries to go for the advanced peek, and oh, that was his chance. When he misses it, Essitai just swings on by. The wildness of Essitai in this round, and he will close the 6th round for NiP.
Seems like Estag's having a good day at the office here. 10 frags for him. Brolin's picked up a secondary AWP. I'm sure that one's going to be thrown on over to Rez here.
Now, the thing is about NiP today, the conversation was who was AWPing. We're seeing the double AWP setup pulled out. Essitai, as we probably expected, did a bit of AWPing. Actually, not just in Cloud9, but also he did it in Heroic, if you remember, when Nato Safix was on the roster with Blame F. So Essitai picked up the AWP over there too. So he's had a bit of experience picking up the AWP throughout his career.
Yeah, and that's one of the conversation points, right? I think that most of the best players in the world are AWPers, right? So that's why there's such a focus on them. Hold up, we'll get back to this conversation. Fast out mid, smokes are dropping. Hampus again through the smoke. Surreal's found another opening death, and there's the follow-up from Essatag. Maybe we can get back to that conversation.
Anyway, this one seems done, Chad. Continue your point.
5, yeah. What are they meant to do? And this B lane control, it's not as forward. It's not as forward this time round. They are actually restrained a little bit more to the site and cave positions here. But what are you meant to do when you're 2-man down and you don't really have a leg up back into this? You're now telegraphing your position with some basic utility, but utility has mainly been dumped just to get the mid control.
I think just playing NiP on Ancient in a best of 1 is one of the wildest decisions possible.
It was either that or Inferno, right? I believe were the 2 maps they had to pick between. And prep was going to be hard to find, right? It wasn't going to be easy to prep for a team who have just added in Brolin. You could look at the old tendencies, but maybe you weren't too sure exactly how they would want to set this one alight.
Yeah, it's hard when you don't even know who's AWPing, right? It's always a big player to try and counter. Essitai, throw down a smoke out Donut, just saving utility here at the 40-second mark. NiP are in a very good position. Endpoint all gathered in the Donut. Oh, another kill. This one's a smoke kill. Valve don't believe so, but it is. Right through that onto Crucial. It's good to see that Endpoint have at least got Boros over to the RMR. I remember the last time they were playing the RMR at IEM4, they couldn't get Boros over.
Oh yeah, didn't Alan have to play?
Well, he
was meant to.
He was meant to, and then they managed to get a stand-in. So.
That's right.
At least we have everybody here that's meant to be here for Endpoint. Mighty Max goes into the fight and takes down Hampus and Essitai. 7 seconds left. Mighty Max goes to the plant attempt. But in the open, Reds just comes out of A main, denies even that piece of mercy. And now around for the side of the Ninjas again.
Yeah, so much cash for them right now. Every player, well, with the rebuys coming in, you're going to have a couple now below, but there was 10K on most of the players right here, and this is not looking great at all. 7-1 scoreline, trying to take control, just being dictated to, getting absolutely battered across the map.
Good stuff.
Double AWP again, and they've actually opted to buy this one out. So Rez and Esatag wanting to wield the two big greens. That is a clear choice that they're making right now. And as we do have this lighter bike to contend with here, Liquid back in the day, right, when they had Nitro as the AWPer, he was more of a support AWPer. I know that seems like a crazy thing to say, but he wasn't always like finding them the opening kills. It wasn't like he was clutch on the AWP or anything. And then we'd also have Stewie do some AWPing, Nap would do some AWPing. Yeah, just using it where it was applicable. And I feel that NiP are going to go down a similar path here.
It's actually the story of the NiP roster of old as well. Struggled to find AWPers at times, would have to throw it on to the riflers, and mainly ran with rifle setup. So perhaps just an element of the NiP.
Well, I think if you have a good fundamental base of how you want to approach the game as a team, Plops is going to mop up some mess, and Hampers to get the last. If you have a good fundamental understanding of, like, you can be a very good team. Whether or not you can be like the best team, that's a very hard question to answer, and I don't think anybody in history has really done it without Liquid being up there in that conversation. Yeah. But in terms of the best lineages of teams that we've had, or the best players in teams, you know, the Simples of the world, you obviously got Device as well. Like, the conversation is tending to be around AWPers. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, Hampers having a little conversation.
Yeah.
Nice and chill. Look at that. You could that looked like my school bag, those notes, just all crumpled and thrown in the backpack.
Do you think I doubt they have to write their own notes, though. Whereas back in school, I'm sure you had to write all of yours.
I did, yeah. Handwriting was a thing. We had to get a pen license, Chad. We had to get a license to write in pen.
I wonder now if they still have to do that with kids now growing up on all the tablets and all that stuff.
Handwriting is an essential skill, surely.
Well, to write, I'm sure, but I don't know if we need cursive anymore.
No, I don't think so. I think everything in print. The only thing you need to do is find a good signature. If you do a good signature, that's about the only
Just draw a line or an X. Use your fingerprint. Get creative with it, guys.
Yeah, lick it.
Should we point out the fact that Nurse is yet to get a kill?
Well, you've done it now, Chad, so there we go. You've done it to him. He's 0-9. That's about it. So we'll see if they can get out elbow. Hampus under pressure, forced into the open. And Chad, you've done it. The caster's curse, it works out. That was your intention the whole time.
Yes, indeed. I want a bit more of a competitive affair here, so Notes can thank me for that one later. But back towards A, back into this big green of Rez at 4 on the plate right now. Okay, Rez, show us something stylish here. Max is doing all the utility. Look at this, up, overshot, and he can get out of here from Rez, so...
He'll get out, but nades will start to be used up. And Endpoint now have to consider, is he still here?
Yeah.
Is he still here?
Exactly, and look how much utility they're going to use to potentially deal with that, and he's just dropped back to more of a passive line. Rez still has 2 flashes, a molly and a nade as well, so he can stall this one out for as long as he likes.
Donut smoked off. Esatag can't really do much from this donut position for the next 20 seconds, so they can move out into middle. And Nerds has got a good bit of control. They cleared out close cubby, they've taken mid control, they've smoked out donut and red room, but now the decision needs to be made as to where they want to go. Given the fact that they're leaning towards donut, looks like this A split's about to come in.
Oh, Esatag's actually the man over here to deal with this now. So Rez has rotated more passively away from the plate.
Well, he's worried about the red room, and Esatag goes into the open. Nerds starting to have a round. Esatag's head no longer attached. And this is not looking good. Boris is coming up on the flank side. They're trying to save this one, but he's looking to take weapons out of their hands. Spotting the barrel is Rez. AWP trying to maintain its life, and Rez will hold on to it for the meantime. Flashes is going towards CT to try and keep brawling up. He's got the AK in his hands. Flash to peek. Stepping towards the site closer and closer, but really shouldn't be going for this one.
Yeah, they have money in the next. Like, it's not a problem as far as the buy goes. I think they were just hoping to do some damage. Just force out some rebuys for Endpoint here. But Nerds, 2 big kills in that one. And finally, Endpoint being able to get away with their game plan, right? You get that little bit of early mid control. You find that opening fight. You push back A main. You go for the split. You get that same mid utility coming on through that they've been able to crawl past. I think Mighty Max has thrown that consistently throughout this first half of play. And their second round will be notched on the board. So... well handled here from Endpoint, and they know that if they can string a couple of these together, they can break that bank of NiP and start getting a few freebies against the Pistols. But double ops again here from NiP, and what's the change-up going to be this time round? Hampus was isolated towards middle and he's lonesome there. Help was not available. And a nice second shot there from Nertz. So Nertz and Boros combined. A big round here for Endpoint. Now back into play. Crucial. It's going to take the AWP and post up on the line. Smoke will deny the vision. Shot on through. And this time Hampus isn't playing ahead of this. Standing with a couple of nades of their own. And wow, if they lob them out, I was going to say delay. They could find some damage on through. But Nertz this time not going to take any damage to all of that. He's sat on back, chilled this one out. Flash is available over the top of mid. And really working on this mid control. So Nertz swinging across towards the mid box here. Can jump on up towards Heaven. Or it can park the bus. He knows there's a player above him. Has taken that damage from Brolin through the boards.
Endpoint starting to lean towards A. Steps being made, so that will be heard out by Rez, who's playing towards Donut.
Very intentional, right, to try and apply some pressure towards this A main. I think they want to draw sightlines away from Donut. This could activate Nertz late to come on in with this lurk from the mid box. He can also deal with the rotations over the top of him here. A difficult position for him to play right now. There's a lot of pressure points available here as utility is now being limped on out towards main.
Molly goes down for NiP to slow the A mid walk, and Hampus considering the mid play takes Nertz down to 11 HP. Smoke goes up in the red room, now focusing on A main is Rez. He's fixated upon this. AWP waiting for the step up, and the boost goes up. Rez this time connects the kill on Boros. Nojadinian out of the round. Mighty Max continues to move forward with the AK, and a second kill from Mighty Max. Leading by example, getting Endpoint some space here, but there's still the CT to cross, and they have to boost up to try and get that bomb back. It's in a nightmare position, and Plopsky and Brolin moving back in with this opportunity. Clean it up. Oh, Endpoint, the bomb just eludes them. It falls on top of the boost. And you have to waste crucial seconds trying to get that back, and you just can't do it.
What a miserable way to lose the round right there, having the bomb get thrust up towards the tree boost position. So that's going to be really frustrating. Yeah, because they do the necessary openness to get themselves in. The fact that the bomb gets dropped there, like that really hurts.
Yeah, and T-rounds, you talked about it earlier, Chad. It's a finite thing here on Inchin. You need as many T-rounds as you can get, and that was a great opportunity for one. And to lose out in that fashion, that is frustrating. Crucial goes to the shot through the mid-smoke, hasn't landed it. Boros is actually pushed quite far up B lane here. He's in that cutout, but he's getting pushed from two sides. He's aware about this possibility and tucks into the cubby, but Brolin ready on the full clearance. They have full B lane control now, NiP, and this might force Endpoint into the quicker play out A.
They really have been heavy for these splits on towards the A site. It's been hardly any B maneuvers. And I'm not sure if that's intentional. I'm not sure if that's because they think they can't get past this blue wall that's being established over towards B lane time and time again. And that last round could have been exactly what they needed to start forcing NiP into more heavy A plays, which would have given them more room to go over towards B. But the fact they didn't get away with the consecutive conditioning there, it's going to come back to sting. Now, Esatag ahead of the util, can call mid clear. They're just walking into Rez's domain again.
It's got a little gap here to play with on the sign. Strong position, makes it difficult to land the headshot onto. A lot of clipping those bullets can go through. Flash deep into the site. Surreal walks forward with his teammates at his backside. Rez still at Donut. A very strong position. That's a great screen up, and it's Rez's spot that needs a kill, and it's got it. 1.5 picked up for Rez. Hampus and Brolin now stepping up as well, and it puts Crucial, the Dutchman, into the 1v3. Gets back in towards Temple. No overextension here for NiP, a disciplined side in these moments, realizing they want 10 rounds. They want to maximize this. They likely have seen the result for G2 and realize that taking a 1-0 win can put you very close to walking away, maybe even with a legend spot. So to get through their best of one is essential and crucial to tap. The peak from Esatag is in, and 10 rounds for NiP.
Yeah, unfortunate here for Endpoint. They are going to take their third timeout just to discuss the tail end of this half. You mentioned 10 rounds secured. This is looking like one-way traffic right now. It all came with the pistol. Imagine if they got the pistol in the conversion. Like, the game plan hasn't felt bad. They've been finding room, finding space, being able to get out mid. The smoke, the util has been good to at least get them into some of these scenarios here, but they've opted to come on out to Ancient. And right now they're stomaching a bit of a drubbing, being battered and bruised. Max is actually leading the scoreboard right now with 9. 14 for Esatag on the other side, and then he's got Plopsky and Hampus up there in double digits, 10 apiece, but it's not like Brolin and Rez are too far behind, 9 each for those. And Yeah, this one here. Look at the responders. Look how many players there are already to deal with this. They know that it's going to be this crawl because they have so much information over towards that B lane position time and time again. They're able to get their players in the right place, shut this one down, and make Endpoint stomach some pistols one more time. Esatag with the close molly, the deep smoke, the extinguish. Let's come on through, so he knows that there are players just on the other side of this.
Esatag. Easy opening. For Surreal, walks into his crosshair. Brolin now throws the smoke down in B lane. Boros. He's gone back into the cubby where he got hard checked last time. I'm sure he's getting a little bit of a flashback to that. But Endpoint now think about the B walk. Problem is, Plotski's about to peek down and gets info, gets out of dodge. Sets up Hampus, but the shot is good. And now they know where Plotski is. They can focus on him. If they're quick about this, Endpoint might get into the site. Brolin has taken one down with a wall spam, but they managed to keep players up, and Brolin gets aggressive, and Crucial has taken him out. Endpoint with a bit of life in this round, and Rez and Esatag need to recover it.
Double AWP retake, here you go.
They go right into Nerds. Esatag hits the deck, and Crucial through the smoke. A miracle round, really, that for Endpoint. One that gives them a good opportunity. 2 rounds left in this half. Let's see how many Endpoint can get.
I think the Counter-Strike gods have been watching this one here. For them to lose the round to the bomb, dropping up towards that tree boost position, I think they've given them one back here. So, flubbing their lines a little bit, NiP. It looked great, didn't it? It looked really good. They had the Dugs in the right pieces again there. In the right places, sorry. And just unable to hit the necessary shots. Max again, just doing all the util, smoking everything, flashing everything, doing it all. How many bits of utility his teammates have actually thrown on out here. They go for the mid extinguish again. Wanting to play ahead of this is Nerds. He has to risk the bullets, risk the fight, risk the flames. Starting to jostle now for position a little bit more, and the util exchange is still going both ways. Nerds has been able to get across to this box again, but felt like Hampus knew exactly what he was up to in the previous round. Let's see if Esatag knows the same, because it's quite clear that they want to get him out here. They've done it several times.
The worrying thing is here as well for Endpoint, they have no B lane control ever. Brolin's just there. So if you're NiP, you know that the only place they can be right now is outside the B doors, the bottom ramp, or outside of A, or waiting elbow. So NiP can just focus their resources on those avenues of approach. It's that lit mid take coming in here for Endpoint. Expand the utility off the CT side and go into mid a little bit later in the round. Mighty Max has walked up with that deep donut smoke that allows him into the red room. And Notes goes back up towards B lane to try and take control of this. But Brolin and Plotski have moved into Jaguar and have a double setup. This crossfire is so difficult to break apart, but the molly can force you into the open. And Plotski, he's gone down to the AWP! Oh, crucial! Those are crucial kills. And now they create space towards the B site and accelerate the process forward, but NiP have made the rotation. Shot. Oh, it's quick from Esatag. Under pressure, Surreal's headshot is good enough, and Mighty Max finally comes into play in the late round from the red room. Reds now has to focus on 2 sides of this approach. The smoke will keep him focused on the red room for the time being, but now he starts to take damage through it. Esatag surely gone, and Reds will go out as the last player of the round, rather, and 4 rounds for Endpoint picked up.
Yeah, you can start to see this game plan really coming into play. 10-5 is possible here. And imagine if they picked up a few of those earlier rounds, the conversion after the pistol win. This could have actually been a fantastic looking T-half, and I think they will be happy with 5 if they're able to get it here. They've been grinding away. The rinse and the repeat with the U2, being stubborn about getting Nerds into that space. Great showing right now from Endpoint to turn this into a competitive half. The timeout, the conversations being had. Let's try to get this one back underway. This is the first timeout coming in from the side of NiP, right? They understand now that this is quite a threatening score, and it doesn't look that way. But it really is, considering that it is the CT side right now for NiP. 11 is what they're looking for. You're going to take a timeout going into the last round of the first half. You want to walk away with it.
The concoctions of nationalities over on Endpoint. 2 Brits, 1 Dutchman. Player from Israel in the form of Nerds, and Boros comes from Jordan. So good mixture here. Looking to push up for 5 rounds in this first half. Crucial. The player, the hero of the last round, tries to open it up. Wasn't too far off getting that first pick, but NiP, a statement of intent down into mid, but it is still the lean here towards A from Endpoint.
Clear out the pocket. They know that the lane is completely secure now, and how are they going to respond to this util? If you've just taken that timeout, that's the conversation you want to have, right? The same util landing again. Like, I feel that Max has thrown this almost every single round of play when it's been available. It's all being lined up. It's all being flushed on through. The Molotovs are dropping. They Get Nerds across again, but they can change the look of this, right? Because traditionally they get it and they just park the bus. Well, now they're going a little bit more aggressive, slinking up top mid. They need to make sure they get ahead of these smokes before the fade. And NiP actually feel like they're pressured, right? Even though they have that B lane control, it doesn't matter. It's all for naught right now. 2 players into the red house with the bomb. This is crazy. This could be a bit of an ace split here. Crucial is going to smoke off for exactly that.
This could be a cool round for Endpoint. Brolin looks to try and spoil their party alongside Hampus, who watches for the cross of Crucial, and Crucial is ready for it. Hampus down, and now Brolin's turn, and he'll fall too. Endpoint outmatching NiP on the fragging department in this round in particular. Rez into Donut, finally gets a kill back, but they start to move forward. 25 seconds as they go into the fight. Rez just holding, trying to cross into...
Oh, this flank from Boros could be huge.
Yeah, he's coming around again. Boros has been in these positions time and time again. SSI gets caught. NiP falling flat in the last round of play, and Endpoint find a bit of life in them towards the end of this half, and this gets me excited going into the second half. 5 rounds for Endpoint secured.
And 3 consecutive, and they had other chances, right? There was actually a pretty good, well put together half. It wasn't scrimmy. They were actually getting off with some very clean plays. They were conditioning NiP with that utility. They were very well considered here, Endpoint. You could see that they were doing this one by the book. You know, it's Counter-Strike, color by numbers. You know, exactly the space that they wanted to retain. And that mid control that they were taking, it actually applied pressure to B lane without being in B lane, right? Because if you're Brolin, you're playing from cave, you have to consider both sides at some point, right? You can only hang around in that position for so long. So actually quite a good showing from Endpoint. Now they need to continue that. They need to show that they've got the potency here on the CT side. And this is where it's going to be coming down to a little bit more of the individuals here. NiP putting the buy together. A smoke in the hands of Rez. A smoke and a Molotov for Plopsky. And a flash for Esatag as they go for the insta-window smoke. That one's been thrown on out. Maybe a slight gap for Mighty Max, but he's going to spam on through. Does a lick of damage, and they're going to take control quite early from 2 prongs over towards B. And it is, look, a lighter play on this B site. It's crucial to bait on in for Boros. They've actually parked Nerds now aggressively in towards A main, but there's no float back of the 3rd man. Feels like they are playing retake on B here, doesn't it, from Endpoint? Smoke will land, will bloom, and deny the vision.
Now, forced into it with the smokes as well. If you did want to fight, now you're held behind a great screen, and Hampus tries to fight out towards short side. Brolin. First player to get a pick in the round. That's wild from Hampus. That is mental, and it's gone down. Boris is rubbing his hands together. Thank you very much, Hampus, for that. The flank around the backside from Nerds is starting. I think Endpoint is just waiting for him to get into a position where that flank can be potent.
They can. There is a smoke and a kit right now, so there. Oh, it's a chance. Nerds has to convert that one. He does, and gets the second. Plopsky down too.
That's big from Nerds, and now he goes in again. Rez is trying to fight him out, but Brolin in the middle, and the Sias has killed everybody else. Oh, we were so fixated upon the door fight that we didn't even realize that it was the fight inside of the site that mattered most.
I think we got lulled in by the fact that it said Mighty Max was still alive right there, didn't it? So,
yeah.
Oh dear.
Mighty Max is eternal.
Yeah, a timeout has been called here. I think Max may have even dropped from the server during all that. I think that really does sting a little bit here because damage was already done. The bomb was already down. Yeah, okay. Well, no wonder we were drawn away from the play right there. A little bit unfortunate for Endpoint. We'll have to wait to get him back in the server. That Nerds flank, it got what it needed.
It did. But
give a bit of a B-stream update. We've tried to bring that up a couple times here, but I do have it available.
It's quite the matchup there, Heat versus Sinners.
Yeah, 9-5 in favor of Heat. You actually have Forzy, who was the replacement for Oscar, I do believe, leading the charge.
I think the Heat side are a team that a lot of people are going to sleep on coming into this. Heat, we got to see them at the start of the year in some of the other Tier 2 events, and I think Heat have just been one of those rosters that are very scary. They play some good Counter-Strike and have a lot of firepower on the team, but just in general, a good team, a good side. Interested to see how they're going to pan out, the Frenchmen. I
think the bigger question is LAN for a lot of those players. Like, not so much for Body and Lucky.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more of the other 3. But this is an environment that it hasn't been, or has been more few and far between due to the online era.
This is quick for Nerds running down with the MP9. Endpoint would love to bite back here, Chad, with a force buy. They can do that. Then sets alight their chances of coming back into contention on Ancient. But if this goes the side of NiP, it's 12 rounds on the board. And this was a 4, so it's likely looking at 13. So quite a lot into this one for Endpoint. What have you made of the Endpoint side so far, Chad?
I feel like the pistol round is really unfortunate with how that unfolded. There's nothing you can do about it, I know, but Max going down, it's hard to put it into words, really, because if they win that pistol, it could. The tail end of that tee-off was great. So
it's like game of inches, essentially, right? It's like just a little detail gets you so much more. I think the perfect way of looking at it is yesterday, right? You could be a pixel away from Saw getting to the major, the stickers, the achievement, everything in your career leading up to it, but just a millisecond can change it all in Counter-Strike, and that's what it's like.
Yeah, well, look, when you drop out of the server in a retake on the side, and damage is already done, and the bomb's already down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, Mighty Max stays towards Pillar. Flash going in towards him. AK starting to battle left and right. Actually good here for Boris, and with the setup that Endpoint have in the site, could have got a little bit messy. Still can. Oh, it certainly still can. Mighty Max hasn't had enough pistol action with the timeout in the previous. He gets himself a double and puts Surreal into the 1 versus 2. Hampus is taking damage. Oh, the chance to brawl in. If Surreal had found that pick, he would have been down to the 1v1, and he would have had plenty of time to focus on that. Oh! What a shot for Surreal, and now looking for the last. Oh, so close, but Brolin denies.
18 points of health for Brolin there.
Another one.
What a shot on the Hampus that was as well.
It was a wall bang.
Yeah, and he's hit some big shots, hasn't he? Surreal's had some great moments. But that right there, that, as you mentioned, is now just going to be this map almost going down the gurgler for Endpoint here. This was a force buy. They're unable to convert it. Unable to get themselves back on the board. Now looking just at these USPs. NiP, even though that one was close, have a real opportunity now to get themselves up to 13 without any dramas. A couple of bodies mid. This standard utility dropping on out. You can see the Infinity Molly there, landing front. Donut, Cutout being flushed out as well. Hampus just taking space. Donut being smoked off. Quite a key smoke there if you want to get control of this B lane on a consistent basis. You can see the clump together, Endpoint, Donut, and top mid, but it is only Hampus right now who they have to deal with. Peeking on out, Hampus is going to execute 1, 2. He's seen all the bodies right here, Hampus. Popsky comes and snatches one away, but Hampus gets 4 in the round, and this one has been taken care of.
Easy as you like for 13 rounds. Endpoint, this is the first step of their long comeback into this, somewhat of a fairy tale story if they get back into this game, because, yeah, they've had a lot of opportunities. They had a decent first half, getting as many rounds as they could squeezed out of it. But really, it comes down to whether or not they can get it going on the CT side immediately. Crucial's all about rifles, everybody else, and utility there. Plenty of kits. We'll see what NiP can do into their first round against the buy.
It's going to be hard to shut this one out here. NiP are pretty proficient on this map, and well, they've already got this space. Molly's exchanged it. Burrows flushed on back. He can't hang around in the fight too long. Now, because they went 1 for 1, oh, the flash forward here. Yeah, I was going to say he could try and take the space back, but they continue to molly this off, which is going to help Garner and Grunt NiP control the cave very quickly. Yeah. They thrust themselves forward, and now they can just set up for a bit of a B execute here if they'd like.
He's going to hold for aggression, but yeah, there's plenty of time here for NiP. There's no reason to commit just yet. I want to pull the thread a little bit more on what you just said about the proficiency of NiP. They're 3 rounds away from taking the win here. There should be enough in the tank, the strap hook here for NiP to squeeze 3 T rounds out, right?
Yeah, and look, even more so if you win this rifle round, right? This rifle round right here is huge, because it's not like we're in max loss bonus territory with plants for the CTs, right? They have to save guns. So, oh, okay, well, an opener. Surreal locks them down before they can even go on in.
An 8-4 user in the form of Mighty Max has got himself one towards the ramp. And, oh, NiP getting knocked down. Brolin and Estetag have found kills in this round, but it is just Estetag left alone in the itchy. Swords on in. A kill found there for Endpoint to close it out. They do get their first CT gun round. Okay,
well, don't worry about the conversation about needing to save guns. If you can win the rounds, that's where this one can really start. So a good plant over there for NiP will get them another back-to-back buy. Now that conversation is going to start to chop and change a little bit. Plenty of cash to splash over there for Endpoint to get those rebuys, those drops coming across. I'm sure they can hook Mighty Max up with a rifle when they do.
Got a Jackie hairstyle going on there, Surreal. I've seen these guys play for so long. They've been on a crazy grind, and these opportunities don't come a lot for Endpoint.
Estetag T-side AWPing here. This is one of the questions that I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know the answers to, like how, because on the CT side, yeah, the AWP, but on the T side, especially on a map like Ancient, See how necessary it truly is.
Well, flash goes up to allow Plopskis to peek out towards B, see if there's anybody holding, spot out the presence of the orb.
It is just a default, right? And I think last round going through that smoke in towards Cave, in towards Donut, and losing both those frags, was even fortunate they get the bomb down, really. Brolin cycling through the util, get to this Cave control again, so a key choke point here that NiP want to have control of. Makes this B bomb site seem a whole lot smaller when you don't have Cave control. So Boris is going to stand forward with Mighty Max to help him on out. The rotation has come back on over, and they're still going to try their luck.
Crucial. That's an easy kill, really, that Hampus has given him. Just dry walking in towards Donut. Esatai looking to pull the kill back. He's blinded. He's held back in the corner. Another smoke coming in here for Endpoint. Utilities going down and trying to slow and stifle the attack for NiP, and Esatai gets peeked out from the pillar. Mighty Max, the amount of impact he's finding from this position. He's actually been wallbanged through the cutout by Brolin. So, Mighty Max is down. The aggressive play forward now again from Brolin. Needs to do everything. He's not going to be able to muster enough power to get NiP a 14th round. So Endpoint staying in this. Another round picked up. And finally putting the money in a bit of a weird spot here, Chad, for NiP.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how long the NiP keep going with this mid crawl, because now in 2 rounds consecutively, they've tried to go out mid and fight Donut, and they've just been owned. They haven't been able to get away with the space that they're looking for. And if you are that of NiP, you're also identifying during all of this that there are multiple players playing in Cave. So let's see if they want to start having a bit more of a direct approach on towards B, up through the ramp.
Quick hit for NiP through A.
Oh, look at all the damage that Brolin's just taken. He's just got chipped on down by a Molotov. He stood in for some space there over towards B.
Yeah, Surreal is holding for the A walkout, but 3 players still positioned over towards this B side of things. Surreal already put a jump around the corner. I love that little gimmick, right? It makes it very difficult for you to be able to get both kills, but just the sheer numbers that were over there to deal with it. Now NiP start to get up the ramp, and the hero AK, Brolin's got one, but Esatai was the bomb carrier and got caught at the back of the pack. So they have to go back and get that again, and Brolin needs to keep going forward. They weren't ready for him to be inside of Cave, and so the AK's found another kill, Chad.
Boris wasn't considering that at all, which is a little bit curious here. The bomb will go down, and Brolin looking for his 3rd kill. Crucial with the save.
That's a big shot for Crucial. Plopski on 13 HP. Brolin does a lot there. Brolin really makes that round doable for NiP. And a bomb plant gives them extra cash. Endpoint, a little sweaty perhaps in that round, but have got it over the line.
Still smiles on the faces over here for NiP, right? So the mood is still high, but that might start changing if Endpoint can get themselves up to double digits. Need to have a conversation on how they want to approach this one. Everyone's going to be into the rifles here. Even Brolin going into a Galil as opposed to that AK-47. So prioritizing full util. Every single player on NiP right now has a smoke, a Molotov, and 2 flashes. So lots of flashes to work with. See what type of a maneuver they want to go for here, and Mighty Max praying to the Counter-Strike gods.
It's been a lot of that. They've been cruel and also giving to him so far on Itch.
I think considering the circumstances, Mighty Max timing out on the pistol round and Endpoint winning the pistol in the first half and losing the follow-up, if they're able to bring this one back, it's going to show a lot of hard work done. And remember their T side, how systematic it was here. Now it's about the CT wall. Brolin faking it out to seem like it's going to be more of this B lean, but we can see 4 players right now congregating around middle. This is the classic. Oh, I thought it was the donut smoke being lined up. Looks like maybe an easier lineup deployed. It is. The Molotov not landing out towards the cutout in mid, but this mid control, at least his vision, is completely denied. 3 players creeping behind it, 1 towards main. Brolin still over towards B. And up towards where Hampus does his absolute best work. This is a bit of an off angle here that Nertz has adopted. You don't traditionally see this one when players are locking down mid because he's so committed now when the smokes fade.
Well, they do fade away. Esatai catches out Nertz without a single kill. Now Surreal has to hold strong, and Hampus is just barreling forward here with vicious intent for NiP. Crucial plays in the temple miss shot. It's all misfiring here for Endpoint. They're not doing enough on these initial holds. And so the bomb goes down for NiP. A 14th round will ring out on that board, and Endpoint have to concede it.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason we don't often see players play that position Nertz was. He didn't even feel like he had a chance in that fight. Just absolutely swamped there. And the kills just kept coming, accelerating the pace for NiP. And it was a pretty good hold as far as the A site goes in favor of Endpoint here. You can see the X's on the radar, top left of your screen. All of them, at least in responding distance to that A site. So they had enough bodies to deal with this, just not able to hit the necessary shots. And trouble now in paradise for Endpoint. will be losing this round. NiP are going to keep all 5 alive, so great little response there. Esatag will even get himself an AWP. Now, Mighty Max can drop 1. Nertz can buy himself. So we are going into another timeout here. Another T-side timeout called from NiP.
2 more rounds needed for them to get the job done. Maybe considering what Endpoint will bring to this, what different adaptation it will make to the previous round. Comes down to just missing a few shots there, Endpoint as well. Obviously, the initial fight goes a little poorly, but a couple of opportunities Endpoint should have taken. Scores on the doors in terms of the team play here for NiP. Great debut for Brolin. 21-8 right now. Top fragger for the side and top fragger on the server for Brolin.
Yeah, he's been looking sharp, hasn't he? Right, like just strolling around with that AK-47, finding some damage here on the CT side as well. Extremely confident in his play over towards B. DJI will take that time out, and I guess he knows if they win this one, then they should be able to just walk the ball in home here for the 16 rounds. And this is what you expect from NiP, right? This team with that high floor, all the chopping and changing of the roster. This is the first look with Brolin, and it seems pretty standard, right? It seems what you've come to know and love from the Swedes.
Well, Brolin dodges out the HE that was thrown on in to try and dish him down. He throws the molly and sound Q mid on Boros, confirming his close position. He's not actually going to drop back. He can. So he's committed now to Jaguar, at least for the time being. But he has now got his teammate coming over to try and help him out.
But they can just contact right now up B long, right? And Esatag might be able to help them get away with exactly that. Spam going through the boards here. And look at this slither gap being held by Esatag now. Walks in. Ooh. Oh. Doesn't connect the shot there.
Felt like it should have landed. Into the Pixel missed. And that's Pixel given over to Endpoint. They'll keep their player up. We now hit 1 minute on this timer. It's an adjustment here from Endpoint. They've pushed 2 players through the donut, bolstering that defense. If they try and barrel back into mid here, NiP, they might have a bit of a problem. Hampus is going to be the player dealing with it. First decapitation is served up, and it's Surreal that goes down, and that scares them back. Yeah, you don't want to walk out donut anymore into Hampus's crosshair. So 40 seconds as NiP set up for the Yusko B strat.
Yeah, this should be pretty straightforward here with the smokes that they're lining up right now, and still have a lot of utility left on over on Plopsky as well.
That's the first one. Down, Molly to force the cubby play forward. Mighty Max decides to try and get the flash in to help him out. Mighty Max goes down. He does get 1 pick though. Keeps Endpoint within touching distance for this. But the plant starts to come in for res, and as soon as that goes down, that's the percentage increase here for NiP to take 15.
Hit on Boros, but you're right. It almost feels like it has to be the save with how locked out you are, and I think that call has been made. You never want to save when you know that 15 is about to be notched on the board against you here, but what else do you have to do? Lost bonus into the next round, only 1900. They need to hold on to these guns so they have at least something to wield, but NiP look like they have taken care of business in this one.
So, yeah, definitely could have been more chances for Endpoint to post a few more rounds on the board, but when you go to Ancient versus NiP, it's hard, and Hampus looks to try and take everything out of their hands. Hampus, he's given a second wind here. Crucial will finally hunt him down. But will he be able to keep the AK? Chance for Plopsky to take it out, but Crucial seems to get away here. He does get around that corner. I mean, we're looking at a situation here where NiP, when you get it onto Ancient, they're not going to feel too sweaty about it. Endpoint definitely made it uncomfortable at times, but it looks like NiP will be one of the teams today that don't drop the ball in their opening best of 1.
Yeah, and right there on that B stream right now, Heat versus Sinners, it's just a 2-round game. Heat are up 11-9. We've got Players versus Sungal and Astralis versus ASG coming up next in the next round of matches. And then Copenhagen Flames versus Sprout and Spirit versus Ents. Now for Players versus Sungal and Copenhagen Flames versus Sprout, both Sungal and Sprout have stand-ins within their rosters here. Tugux is going to be standing in over there for Sungal, and Berry is going to be getting back in the server and playing for Sprout here.
Berry back in the server. It's been a while.
Yeah, Stare, it wasn't able to make it. And I believe Soulfly was the other one who wasn't able to make it over there for Sungal. So a bit of issues getting over here towards Bucharest for some of those, well, I guess underdog teams.
15-8 now, and we return to the action. NiP look to try and close it out. See what Endpoint have brought to this. A Nova in the hands of Mighty Max. I think that really tells you everything you need to know about this one. Nova goes in towards Cave. Mighty Max sets up with his teammate in the crossfire. Jaguar. NiP can take the time actually walking towards A right now through main.
Brolin is just given so much space to operate as he chooses, right? He just has all the leeway in the world to grab all this room. And it's quite nice, I think, if you're Hampus to have a player like this who can just grab this, and you can work with the rest of the pack who are contacting out into Surreal's site. He's got Nerds with him, and the AWP is posted up, jumping up on the sign. Can see the top of the heads if they do play a little bit deeper. And there's the top of Plopsky's head. The bomb spotted as well here. The rotation might come in thick and fast.
Good first pick here for Endpoint. Is there anything else left in this one for them? As the side holds to the re-aggression. Endpoint send it their way. It's a real player to die. Now we hit 55 seconds.
And they don't have to commit either. You mentioned the time. There's so much to regroup, regather. Hampus top mid. Brolin's still over towards B right now. They are just actually going to slink their way back on. Now, Mighty Max with that shotgun could come into play here in a moment as Hampus, he's made it into the back lines. Nertz has gone down. This round is being thrown into disarray. Boros having a look between both sides. Can this Nova shotgun get it done?
The Nova, it's still ready. Is it going to be the Nova to get something done here? And it's not.
Poor Max.
Yeah, just gets wrecked. Brolin with the headshot. Boris now in the sight. He's going to play in and around the pillar, trying to go on a minute, but Brolin will find him.
Brolin's been clinical. He's
just
been
a machine,
so
isn't
sharp,
he?
hasn't he? 23 kills now. Back in his native tongue of Swedish. Looking hot to trot.
We could close it here as well, and he will. Brolin's debut gets him a 24-9 scoreline and a victory for NiP here in Bucharest.
Couple of wobbly moments, I suppose, here, but at the end of the day, taking care of business. I feel a little bit sad for Endpoint having Mighty Max timeout on the pistol round in the second half, but also they won the pistol round in the first half. They couldn't convert the second, which meant that they could have had a bunch more rounds within that T side of things, but the CT wall, just not enough. And Endpoint are going to go lacking here. You can join that 0-1 column. NiP are going to go up to the 1-0 column. And a great opportunity now that some of the other favorites like